G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we're going to make this Crochet Granny Square hat. It is easy to do and great for beginners. This project uses up lots of leftover yarn that you have from various projects. Thank you so much for watching my crochet video tutorial, and let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies we're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a crochet hook that goes with your yarn. I am using a DK, which is a number 3 weight yarn in the USA, an 8 ply here in Australia, or a DK in England. The crochet hook that is recommended for that is a 4mm crochet hook, but I do have loose tension, so I will be using a 3.5mm, a size E, and these are Clover crochet hooks. There's a link below for that if you want to purchase these crochet hooks. These are absolutely brilliant. I love them. They are my favourite crochet hooks. Let me know what your favourite crochet hooks are in the comment section. I'd love to know. And I am going to be using a Stylecraft Special DK. This is literally what I've had in my stash. I will put some links to some recommended yarns in the description box. I would recommend some Hobie yarns and also Nick Pick yarns. You can use any thickness that you like. This is completely up to you. You just need to use the crochet hook that the yarn ball recommends. So as you can see, this recommends a 4mm crochet hook. You can see this yarn ball's been in my stash for quite a while. It's just a bit squashed, and it's 100% acrylic. I have a heap of this, so I wanted to use it up. I have used 3 rounds to my granny squares. Again, any yarn thickness that you like. So it's a really good project to basically just use up leftover yarn that you've got from previous projects. And check me out, all these ends are sewn in. That's right, who am I? I don't even know myself. So you're going to need whatever size granny squares you want to use. Let me just measure this one. This one is 2.5 inches across, which is approximately 6 centimeters. Again, like I said, you can pretty much use any size granny square. You don't, okay, I'm gonna retract that. You don't want them too big. I would not go any bigger than 4 inches for your granny square. That's 10 centimeters. I wouldn't go any bigger because it's going to look a little funny and it's going to lose the effect of what this crochet pattern is. Because mine are only small, I obviously need more to go around my head, and I'm going to make this hat for myself. My head circumference is 22 inches around, or 56 centimeters. I'm going to lay my measuring tape down, and then these were organised in piles, but they've all just fallen apart. And then I'm going to lay them down until I get to 21 inches or 56 centimeters. Size that you want to make this for. You can make this for a baby. You can make it for an extra large adult head. Whatever size that you need, you're just going to lay your granny squares out until you get to that measurement. If you're not sure on what head sizes are for certain ages, there is a link below in the description box for head sizes. So you're going to measure your head. I am going to put a photo on the screen so that you can see how to measure your head. You're also going to measure the height that you want your hat. This one won't have a roll over brim. I'm just going to have it just with, I don't even know what you call it, not a roll over brim. And what I did is I measured my head height, and mine was 9 inches long. But I'm going to lay these all out to the measurement that I need. You can also join these granny squares any way that you like. I'm going to choose to actually crochet these together. I don't normally use that method. I normally join as I go. I'll put a video link on the screen for that one as well. But I'm actually going to choose to crochet them together. Am I insane? Probably. But it gives a different effect, and I actually want the ridge. This is the hardest part, to set them out. I want the ridge that the single crochet leaves. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Why do I have 3 extras that I've got in my pile? Just going to measure this again. That's because I'm only at 20 inches wide. So I just need to add these cool ones. So once you've got them laid down in the order that you think you want them, you're going to lay them out like this, and this equals 22 inches across by just under 9 inches tall. It's about 9.5-ish. But what I'm going to do is at the top you're going to add a little bit of crochet, and then at the bottom here you're going to add your brim. So you want to leave a little bit of space. So you're going to lay your granny squares out, and then you're going to have a look at them, and you're going to think, which ones do I need to move? So here I've got two light blue edges together, so I don't want that. So let's have a look to see if we can move anything else. I am sure you're going, move that one out of the way. I don't like how that one's there. Now I can actually pick one. So here, okay, did you see those? We've got a hot pink and a hot pink. We've also got to be careful of these edge ones, and then down this side, that they don't clash as well. I've got hot pink in this hand. If I put hot pink there, there's also a hot pink there, so they're going to clash. Well, they're not going to clash, but oh my gosh, this is actually harder than it looks.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
Here I have all my granny squares laid out. Obviously it's not perfect, but this is the size that I need. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with this granny square, and we're going to grab those two granny squares, and we're going to stitch. And as we go along, we're going to join this row, and then we're going to join the next row on, and then we're going to work up and down. Grab this granny square, and that's granny square. Yoink! And grab your crochet hook, put it through corner space of your granny square. This could be a drinking game every time I say granny square. So I'm going to pull out yarn through. And we do have them wrong sides together. It's probably best to mention that. This is our right side, and that is our wrong side. So I've got both right sides, or the beautiful side, both right sides facing out. So we're going to just do a chain one to secure that into there. Where's my end gone? I'm going to pull that snug. We're going to single crochet into that chain space. In our very first double crochet just here, we're going to go through there, and then on the back square also through that very first double crochet. What I like to do is I put my finger, depending on how you hold your crochet I guess, but I put my finger at the back there and my thumb there. That makes me know that that's lined up at the back. So it's through that first double crochet and that second one at the back there, and work a single crochet. Again, it's hard because that piece of yarn's in the way. Through like that. I'm going through both loops on both squares. I'm not crocheting too tight. So we're up to this stitch. And that one there. And we're going to crochet all the way across. Oops, see I've missed a stitch there because I've got one left at the back, but I don't have any left at the front. What have I done wrong? Let's have a look, let's have a look. Try it again. So you're just going to crochet to the end if you didn't make a mistake. I think it's where, I think I know exactly where it was. It was here, where that's the joining part from the end of the round. So one, two, three. That should be it. should be the second. Oh yeah, I figured it out. And then we should have one there, one at the back. Yes. Little celebrations as we crochet. And then we're going to go through that chain space and work a single crochet. So you can see we have our granny squares joined. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to go back to our crochet, to our granny squares, and we're going to grab these two. We're going to bring it back over here. And we're going to join along there. So good sides facing up. Just grab them and just place them together into the chain space of this front square and the chain space of that back square. Going to pop our crochet hook. It's a little bit fiddly, this little bit. Not too fiddly, if you just hold them. And then single crochet. Wait a minute, what have I done there? Single crochet, my arm was in the wrong spot. Single crochet, and that will join that to that. Don't worry about this little gap, because when we go to crochet this seam and that seam, it's going to disappear. Again, so first stitch on the front and then first stitch on the back. Make sure you're going under both loops. Where are you, second loop? There we go. Oh, I feel like all thumbs. Do you feel like all thumbs? This is not a crochet method I use a lot. So I've just got to get comfortable with it. Getting both layers in there, and we're going to single crochet across. Because these are in groups of 3 stitches, you know, if you've, you know, I'm on the middle one of this front square. So if I look at the back, I'm just looking at that middle stitch, and if that's the same one, you know you haven't stuffed it up somewhere. But if you're not lining up properly, you know there's a problem. Okay, we're up to the end, and we have a chain space to go through there and make a single crochet. I love it when it starts coming together. So this is what we have so far. So let's go to our next squares. We're going to go to our next squares because we've got these are joined. So our next ones are going to be these two just there. So grab those ones, bring them down, and then we're going to pinch them too. And then we're going to stitch across the top. And then we're going to continue doing that to all of our granny squares. So we're going to grab those next two, those next two, those next two, and so on until we get to the end of our row. And then I'll show you what to do when we're going to join our last row up there. Pause the video and I'll meet you when we have these ones joined to our project. I have stitched my very first seam together, so you can see we've captured those 2 rows together, so that's awesome. And what we can do is we can cut off our end. I've already pulled a loop through, so we can cut that off, and I'll finish that in a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our top row, and we're going to join this bottom one to that top one. So we're going to pinch that and join that together. And when you've joined those, you're going to do to the next one, same to the next, and so on all the way across. So I'm going to join this one over to this pink one. Yoink. And I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to flip it under, and I'm going to stitch, I'm going to crochet across the top there. So I've got my yarn, and I'm going to pop it through the chain space of this square and also the one on the back. And we are going to attach our yarn, lay it on top of your crochet hook, and pull through. Alright, so we're just going to secure that on, We're going to single crochet into that first chain space, and basically we're joining this the exact same way that we did the other squares. Just where it's joined there is probably the trickiest part of it. Because it can sometimes throw off your stitches. So we can see now that we have our third row or a next row joined on. You might have a different amount of rows to complete, but I'm on my third row, and you can see that that's now joined, single crocheted across there. So you can see that these seams aren't joined, but that's okay. We're going to fix that after we've joined this row. We're going to go over to our granny squares. I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to bring it over to our work. We're going to pop it there. So this one goes under, and then single crochet across the top, then adding all the rest of these granny squares exactly the same way all the way across. Mine's kind of somehow just gone around a corner, but all the way across your row. Pause the video and I'll meet you when we have the next row completed. I now have my second seam done, and that joins row 2 and 3 together. My yarn is still attached at the end, so I'm going to cut that off and finish that off. And now we can start on joining the ones that go up and down. Join these ones first, and then join this one, this end seam to this end seam. I'm going to do that last because I think it will be easier to work it flat than trying to work it in the round. So I'm going to do that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to grab our work and we're going to fold it this way. And we're going to join along this seam. This is our first row here, and then we're going to join it across. So we're just going to use that very same method. I'll show you this bit just in case you're wondering what we do when we get to those little bumps there that are the previous joining rows. We're going to chain one. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see what we're doing. We're going to single crochet into there. So this bit here, exactly the same. So let's whiz across. We're just single crocheting across. When we get to the chain space here on our granny square, we're going to do the same. So we're going to crochet front and back square. And then into the next granny square here, we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're just going to single crochet into there and then single crochet into the back chain space. And what happens is it just literally goes across. So it's really no different than what we did before. And then you just continue on as usual. I'll just do a couple of more stitches and I'll show you what it looks like. Used to use this method when I did Granny Square blankets, which was a very, 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 very long time ago. So we can see here that these 4 squares are joined, obviously, apart from that bit. But they are now joined, and they have this little ridge detail, which I actually think has its place. I know this was a huge debate when I very first started to crochet. Is it still a huge debate that people love? You either love this ridge or you hate this ridge. There is no in between. So continue crocheting across, joining your granny squares together. And then what we do after this one is complete, we move up to the next 6 squares. So then we join across here. And again, we just work our way up until we are done. And then eventually, when we've got all that joined, we will just flip our work over, fold it in half, and then just single crochet that together. Make sure the ridges of your crochet and the good side is facing out, and you're putting your wrong sides together, and then you'll join up that one in exactly the same way that we've just crocheted these rows together. Pause the video and I'll meet you when we have all of our joining done. I have completed all of the joining, and as you can see, I've got an open bottom and also open at the top. And as I was making this, I thought this would basically make a really cool cowl, but this video is for a hat, so that's what we're going to do. But if you wanted to make a cowl, you are going to crochet around the top. You can do as many rounds as you like, and also crochet around the bottom. That's exactly what we're going to do for the hat as well. It's just we're going to gather the top section. You want to decide what you want for the top of your hat and what you want for the bottom of your hat. I'm just going to have a look at mine and see what I want at the bottom. I think I'm going to make this the bottom. I might just put a stitch marker on that. That will just remind me. And then later on the video I can say, what was this stitch marker for? I have no idea. So our yarn is, or my yarn is still attached at the top here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to crochet around this opening, and we're just going to work along the top, and we're just going to put 1 single crochet in all the stitches basically, and into our chain 1 space. So we have our chain spaces here, and into there we are going to work a single crochet. And then each of the double crochets we're going to work a single crochet. Here's a piece of fluff. So a fairly easy project. Let me know if you feel the same way. I guess if you're a very much a beginner, then maybe not, but I have crocheted for over 20 years, so let me know how long you've been crocheting for. Going up to the chain spaces, I'm going to single crochet in that. Then I'm also going to single crochet in this join. So I'm just going to put it through the top. You'll probably see your last stitch there. I'm going to put it through. We're going to single crochet into that. And what that does is it joins this seam up to the top of the hat just there. So we're going to single crochet in the chain space, and then in each stitch across. And I'm actually going to work over any tails that I come across, so therefore I don't have to sew them in at the end. So yay. Hands up if you hate sewing in ends. So we're just going to crochet across, and I'll just show you again what we do when we get to the seam. I'm going to put our crochet hook into the first stitch and work a single crochet. And then single crochet in every stitch across. We're going to work our way around till we get back to where we've started. You will want to try this on your head. I've already tried mine on just to make sure it fits before I continue. And then we are just going to complete the top of this. We can do some little bit of decreasing. If you don't want to do decreasing, you could just gather the top of your hat. It's completely up to you. But I think if we decrease a little bit, it will help us when we do the gathering, because there won't be, oops, I didn't do that bit there. There won't be as many stitches to gather up. And also not as much fabric. Working your way around the opening there, just crochet until we get back to where we started. Pause the video and I'll see you there. We've come around and we are up to where we started. And we're just going to slip stitch into the first stitch there. What am I doing? I'm going from the wrong side. My goodness. I mentioned in my last video, I'm a highly trained professional. If you believe that or not, then that is up to you. So we have joined there. What we're going to do now is we're going to work some rounds of decreasing. Oh my gosh, this is so colourful. Love it, love it. So what we're going to do is into the chain spaces, we're just going to work a single crochet. But then in our groups of 3 that we have here, the 3 stitches, we're going to work decreases in there. So first of all, on a chain 1 and single crochet. And these 3 stitches we're going to decrease over the next 2 stitches. So we're going to go in, pull up our crochet hook, leave that on our crochet hook, go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then single crochet. We're going to single crochet in the next stitch. For our decrease, we're going to go into the stitch, pull up a loop, got 2 on your crochet hook, leave those on there, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, going to work into there. And then we're going to crochet into the next ones. We're going to work a decrease, and then crochet across, and then crochet into the one there where the chain 1 space is. So basically, between the joins that we got here, you want to work a decrease for every group of 3 stitches. You can count it if you want, you can just eyeball it if you want. I'm actually just going to eyeball it, as long as you have 3 decreases, or if you've got more groups of 3 stitches between your joins, then do that many decreases. So I'm going to crochet, then I've got a group of 3, so I know I need to work a decrease, crochet, got a decrease here, decrease. We have a group of 3 here, so we can do a decrease, and crochet normal, and another decrease. As you can see, it's not sort of, I'm not counting out my stitches, and it's not, what's the word? Not the word, is it even? I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for. But I'm not counting them out. You can count them out and do it that way if you want. But today, I'm not going to. So it's a decrease, I'm going to crochet. Let's try decrease and then 2, and then a decrease and then 2. See if that works. So it's a decrease. No, so it doesn't work all the way across, but if you've got a method, then go with that. I just know I need to put 3 somewhere there in between those joins, or the amount of groups of 3 you've got across. If you've got a bigger granny square, so if you've got a 4 round granny square, you will have, we have 4 across. 1, 2, 3. I think you have 4 across. So decrease. another decrease. So work across like that. I should say work around like that because that's what we're doing now. We're working around, and you'll notice that this will gradually start to decrease at the top. Pause the video and I'll meet you when we're ready for the next round. Coming up to the end of my round, this is the second round on the top of the hat. And I'm just going to join to that very first stitch. For our next round, what we're going to do is, instead of putting the amount of increases that you did, so I had to do 3, 1, 2, 3, because I had 3 groups of shells, you're going to do 1 less. So for me, I've got 3 on the row before, so now I'm going to do 2 decreases in between here. So let's chain up 1 and single crochet. So then I'm going to put my decreases about here. So let's look at the 2 spaces there and maybe just line them up with that. That's easy. That's how I'm going to do my decreases. So I'm going to single crochet into them across to there. Ooh, 1 too many. And then I'm going to work a decrease. Again, across to here. And then work a decrease. As long as there's 2 or 1 less than what you did on the round before, then that'll be fine. Repeat this around and I'll meet you when we are ready to join. I've just moved my stitch marker up because I kept forgetting where the start of the round was. So I've got 1 more stitch to go. And then we're going to join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some rapid decreasing. We're going to do 2 stitches to 2 single crochets, and then the next 2 stitches are going to be a decrease. So single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet decrease. So again, single crochet, single crochet, and a single crochet decrease, and we're going to repeat this all the way around until we get back to the beginning. I've come to the end of my round and I have joined, and we are now going to repeat that round again. 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Repeat that around and I'll join you when we're ready for our next round. Pause the video and I'll see you there. Up to the end of my round, and for the next part of the video we are going to work decreases in all the stitches. So I've just done a chain 1 to get me up to the right height. Going to go into that stitch, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3. Again, in the next one I'm going to do the same thing. Pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. Just working a decrease in every stitch. But I'll meet you when we are round at the beginning again. Pause the video and I'll see you there. I'm up to the end of my round and I've just joined with a slip stitch. If you need to, you can work another round of decreases like we just did, which is what I'm going to do because I think that's just a few too many to try and gather. I am going to repeat that round 1 more time. Pause the video and I'll see you there. So we're going to cut some yarn, and I'm going to cut probably that much off so that we can cinch that up and have enough yarn to do that. So I've just got that loop on my hook. I'm actually just going to thread that needle through that loop, and then I'll just finish that off there. What we want to do is thread our needle in and out of our stitches, and we're going to gather the top of this hat. It's a little tricky because the hole is small now, but that's good, that's what we want. It's much easier to close it up, just like that. It just disappears. So I'm just going to fasten this off. So I'm going to go just through the middle and through. Put that loop over your needle and just pull, and that will make a knot. So again, through the loop and pull. Just do that a couple of times and then we can sew in our ends. I'm going to just poke that to the other side so that we can continue with the video, and I'll sew those in after. Here is the top of our hat. It looks awesome. Perfect spot for a pom-pom. So I can take the stitch marker out. We don't need this anymore. So as you can see, I do have a few ends that I need to sew in, but I was hoping that when I came around to the edging here, I could just crochet over them. Yes, the lazy way. So let's get started on the edging of our hat. You can choose whatever stitch you would like to do for the edging of your hat. I am just going to stick with the single crochet theme because that's what I did at the top of the hat. You can do half double crochet, completely up to you. So we want to turn our hat the other way so that we have the brim of the hat at the top here. And I'm just going to join it somewhere in the middle of my granny square so that when we come to here I can show you what to do and it's easier to see. Right, let's pick this colour. Going to chain 1 to secure. We're going to work a single crochet and I'm going to crochet over my tail just so I don't have to sew it in because I don't like sewing in ends. Alright, so we're going to single crochet into each stitch across. You can put a stitch marker in that first stitch if you need to. I was about to say I probably don't need one, but you know what? I don't pay attention when I crochet much, and I will just continue on. We could work this in a spiral actually. Maybe that's a better idea. But I'm putting that stitch marker there so it reminds me where the start is. So we're going to single crochet across. And then this part here, we're going to single crochet into there. It's been a couple of days since I filmed this. I feel like it's what we did at the top of the hat. And then into the chain space of the next square. Continuing over an end. I think this is a new end, but still crocheting over it. So we're just going along to each stitch. This pink yarn really blows out in the camera. It's very bright and sometimes the camera cannot cope with it. So we just crochet each stitch across into the chain space and then also into this part which is our join, because otherwise it just sort of hangs free and there'll be like a little gap of colour, which I don't want. Okay, I finished crocheting over that end, that can go away. Go into the end of it just there and single crochet into the chain space. So I've got a new end here somewhere, I think. There's my old one, here we go. So we can crochet over that. Go away. And we're going to repeat this all the way around until we get back to the beginning of this round. I'm sitting here thinking, do I want to do a spiral or join at the end? I think a spiral is going to look much neater. Oops. Let's pause the video and I'll meet you when we're at the end of the round. Okay, I'm back to where we have to join and I'm not going to join. I'm making the decision. I don't want to join. So I've single crocheted in that stitch and also that one there is where we started. So we're going to single crochet into the top of this stitch here. Let's just get this end out of the way. So the top of the first single crochet, we're going to single crochet. Excuse me, sir. Go away. There we go. And this will just continue around, but what I am going to do, I am going to put that stitch marker back. I'm just going to put it down a bit lower. It'll just remind me where the beginning is. Because once I start, it's like, I don't even know where I started. And we're just going to single crochet in every stitch. And because we are working in the round, we won't get to an end of a round, and have to join. See how that's gone lovely and smooth. There are no edges. This will look better as we come around with a few more rounds. So keep going until you have your brim the size that you need You may need an inch, you may need half an inch. Work it the way you would like it. Pause the video and I'll see you there. I have completed 4 rounds of single crochet on my brim. That is enough for me. I'm just going to take out this stitch marker. And then what we're going to do is finish off. So I've done a single crochet. My next stitch I want to do a slip stitch because that's the next shortest stitch. So if you did a double crochet, you're going to do a half double crochet, a single crochet, and then a slip stitch. If you did a half double crochet brim, you're going to do a single crochet and then a slip stitch. So you just want to go down in stitch sizes or heights so that it just finishes off nicely. I'm going to pull that through. For my hat, I have chosen, I've got about, I don't know, 10 or so pre-made pom-poms, and I've actually chosen this one. I think it's crazy, it's hairy, it's got long fur, and I'm going to choose this to go with my hat. I had a lot of brown and I had a lot of white, and I just don't think those colours are going to work. So I'm just going to trim that off. It's got some knots there. I must just put those in to stop it unravelling. And I'm going to put this through the top of the hat. Find the top. Okay, whoops. Just there. And I'm going to go through to the inside of the hat. And I can see here I've actually got a thread, so I can actually just tie those together. And that will secure. Let's make sure I've pulled it tight enough. No, I have not. Oh, that did not work. So just undo that again. Make sure your pom-pom is pulled tightly to the top of your hat. Otherwise it's going to look a little funky. And then we can sew these ends in if we like. There we go, that's much better. How cool is this pom-pom? Seriously, it's crazy. Let me know what colours you have made yours in. Did you make your own pom-pom? Doesn't matter if you didn't, you can buy one. Or you can recycle one from another hat. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up, that'll be fantastic. And if you like this type of content, then please consider subscribing. It's totally free for you and helps out my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crochet.